Hi guys, welcome back to another GGF video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Zotac 10th year anniversary GTX 1080. Now this is the card here. It's been collaborated with Thermaltake. They've created the GPU block for it and Zotac has done the rest. Now when I first heard this came out and I first saw it, I thought, all right, fair enough, it's just an Arctic Storm with a custom Thermaltake block, because you may be familiar that Zotac have been doing their Arctic Storms for quite a while. This is their standard 1080. GTX 1080 Arctic Storm. It's got the yellow on the back, and this water block is, I'm not sure who makes it. It could be done in-house via Zotac, but this one here has been collaborated with Thermaltake. We're going to do an unboxing, and if I have time, I want to throw this on our test bench and do some benching. Now bear in mind, just like the Arctic Storm, I'm not sure why Zotac have kept these clocks down pretty low. They're pretty much, there's two biases on here. That is new for the Zotac. The Arctic Storm doesn't have that. The previous 1080 Arctic Storm doesn't have the dual bias, but this one has a dual bias. The second bias puts up a little bit on the boost, not too much. You would expect something like this to be maybe near a Strix, something close to 2000 megahertz on the core, but no, I think the max is around 1700 something, which isn't much. But I've tested the original Arctic Storms and I was able to get these over 2000 megahertz, and a lot of other people have been. So I'm expecting this will do probably more, because this isn't the same PCB, or it could be a similar PCB, but to me, I've had a quick look. It's got more power phases. If I look inside, I haven't dismantled the block, but just by going through sort of the cracks and the crevices, it's got a larger power phase design, and it's got dual of these, Zotac's known for these power boost control units. This one over here, the Thermaltake one, has dual power boost controllers. So it should be pretty insane, and it's got a much beefier GPU block. This one weighs in at about, the original Arctic Storm weighs in at about a 1.25 kilograms, whereas this monster here is just under 2 kilograms, I think 1.96 kilograms, and it does come with a support stick, and now I know why. So what we'll do is we'll jump in, we'll see what's in the box, and then we'll try and get some benchmarks and some overclocking results. Okay, now here's the box here. So very sort of different than the Zotac's usual colors. You can see this is their Arctic Storm 1080 here. So very vibrant yellow, which is the color of the Zotac logo, but more with this new one, they've gone with a very sort of NVIDIA reference design box to more of your grays, your blacks, and of course your green. I guess it's because it's collaborated with Thermaltake. I think they wanted a more sort of neutral sort of color spectrum going on. First thing you notice when picking up this box is the sheer weight. It does weigh a lot. As I said earlier, nearly 2 kilos just for the card. Okay, now opening it up, we have a driver disc. Probably don't need that. Some protective foam. Okay, now first off I might just spin this around. We get a mouse pad. I guess that is nice. It's just a nice little incentive. I do sort of expect this to be a sort of limited number amount. I'm not sure how many they're going to produce, but they haven't really said it's going to be a limited number, but I guess they're not going to be sold everywhere. That is nice mouse pad. It's nice and braided around the edges, which is pretty sweet. All right, now taking a look at accessories, of course you get a support stick, a support pole, support bar, whichever way you want to call it. This will simply just go in your case. It normally just runs from the bottom and it will go up to the top of your case, and then it just supports the video card. This just simply sits under the card, whether it be the block or something. So that just stops it from sagging, and I think with 2 kilos you're going to need this. So it's good they've thrown that in. What else do we have? We have some compression fittings. Now these ones are Thermaltake. When you get this standard Arctic Storm, they're non-branded. I guess Zotac has just sourced them somewhere, but these are Thermaltake compression fittings. Now you get 2, because for all water cooling blocks you're going to need 2 fittings to complete your loop. So yeah, that's just the 2 standard compressing Thermaltake ones there. And what really surprised me is you also get one of their brand new high bandwidth bridges. So now if you watched our other unboxing video we did on a few Zotac cards, we showcased or went through one of these new bridges. This looks like the standard 1-slot one. So it is nice that they've thrown that in the box as well. It is strange to get bridges with video cards. They used to do it a long time ago, but now motherboard manufacturers have started doing the whole bridge accessories with your motherboards. Once again, you've got 2 like the previous Zotac cards, you've got 2 of the dual 6s to 1.8, but bear in mind, if you're buying this, no doubt you're going to have a nice power supply to run this beast. All right, now that's everything. Oh, even just picking that up, that's everything out of the box. Once again, like the other cards, we get this huge bit of anti-static bubble wrap bag. Okay, so that's the card there. This block is just insane. It's not your traditional, it's going by this, it's about a slot and a half thick, going by the, if you look at that, slot and a half thick, I would say, because if you look through there, it creeps over the other side. Once again, they're going with the orange. I thought I may have changed this with black, being collaborated with Thermaltake, gone with the black instead of the orange standout features, but you can just rip those off. And I really do like now that this block is your standard custom block with the terminal bridge, because if you grab one of their other 1080 Zotac Arctic Storms, they've got the bridge or your connections that sit in the middle or down below the card. They don't sit on top, they sit inside. So when you're connecting multiple cards together, it's much easier with when they're sitting on top, because you can just link them through like that. Whereas this one, it can still be done. If you're linking them through like this, you just need to simply have two right angle fittings that just join in like that, and then you can use these two out here. But where you're using these, it makes it a little bit easier to work with. But yeah, this is a really nice block. Just looking through it, you can see it's nicely done. Not sure about the color gray. I guess they wanted a contrast to sort of go, so they've gone with the black and gray. I really want to try and fire this up, because this is RGB as well, apparently, so it'll be nice, just like these ones are RGB. But if you do look at the box, wherever that went, over here, is it on the box? No, it's not on their box, but on the website they have a sort of a background with all the different colors of the block, and it does look really nice. It looks like the whole edge lights up. It'd look really sweet standing up in a case like that, because you'll get the nice glow. Moving on, what else do we see? We've got this little switch here. I can only assume this is the BIOS switch. It does have a dual BIOS, it says, so that'll be that little switch there. Once again, standard dual 8-pin PCIe power. Now this power for this card is 180 watts. I believe that's a little bit more than a standard 1080, so that is interesting to see. But apart from that, it looks pretty much exactly the same, similar PCB. But moving on to the back of the card, I really do like this back plate. It's a little bit of an improvement, I think, of the standard Zotac Arctic Storm. You've got sort of the yellow, and if you're really not doing a yellow build, it's going to be hard to blend this in. You've got the grey and the yellow, whereas this is more sort of your standard colors. You've got black and grey, and now we've got your dual power boost. So I'm not sure what these are going to do in terms of performance, overclock abilities, but I really want to test that out just to see how the dual power boosts go. Apart from that, you've got your standard writing Zotac. You got Thermaltake, and then slightly sort of in black, which is a different sort of effect. You got 10th year anniversary and your TT premium Thermaltake logo. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Just looking at the card, I can definitely see there's another row of capacitors along there. They don't run all the way along, but it seems like there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 more capacitors there. And the PCB is slightly different. There's only one row of capacitors there, so they've definitely amped up the card a bit, so it'll be really sweet. I'm going to try and throw this in a test bench now. Throw on 3D Mark. I'm probably just going to test 3D Mark. That's really all I have in terms of benching, so we'll quickly throw that in, see how this overclocks, and yeah, we'll go from there. Alrighty guys, so now you've seen the card in its raw form. We've thrown it in our test system here. This is our little test bench we've had set up for about a month or so now. It's a great little unit for testing our cards. We've got it in there. It looks really nice, very simple to hook up. You just simply put these our two tubes in. When we're not running a water-cooled card, we just simply take these out, run an extender, and we can stick those tubes down below. But when we are running a water-cooled card, we can just simply take the extender out and put them on the two ports there. So very simple to install, as you can see, like that. Now moving on to our overclocking results. Now, as I said, this card wasn't really overclocked from the manufacturer. It was quite sort of basic, nothing too fancy. So the max I was able to get on the core was 1978. Now that's not the highest I've seen cards. Now bear in mind, I'm not an extreme overclocker. I'm pretty novice. I really don't venture into overclocking that much. So I was pretty happy with 1978 just to be able to do that straight off the bat for the core. And for the memory, I was able to hit 11,870, just a fraction off 12,000. So that was pretty sweet. And the CPU is a 6850K running at 4.5 gig. Now for 3D Mark Firestrike, the standard one, I was able to hit 20,908. Now to reach over 20K for me on a single card, that's just insane. And for Time Spy, I was able to hit 8,217. Now that's pretty nuts as well. You get most systems with dual cards are barely able to reach that. So this card is a beast. Temperature wise, I was hitting around 40 degrees the whole time. So you're not gonna have any issues with temperatures creeping into play with this card. Now when it comes to lighting on this card, Zotac has it on their previous Arctic Storms, the other 1080s, and on their Amp Edition cards. You just fire up Firestorm, that's their custom overclocking and the lighting program. It's just got all these RGB modes, got the breathing mode, static, flashing, so I've just got it set to sort of the pink mode here, and that's just breathing, and you can really see how it lights up around the sides, and you can change this to any color you like. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it on this video. I am doing a build for Zotac for their CES booth for 2017, so I'll do a separate video on that. I'll announce that, but yeah, it should look really good in that build. I just want to thank Zotac for sending this card out, giving me the opportunity to do this build. Thanks for you guys for watching, and stay tuned for next time.